Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be demoing another project that I have completed. This employee managing system has robust functionality and can track and persist data for a user. The program will be accessed with Node.js. In order to use this program, users need to have Node.js installed and a copy of the GitHub repository locally on their computer. In addition, users will need to have some kind of server software. I am using Mysql and MySQL Workbench. When these conditions are met, we can begin to set up the program. The first step is to make sure that our server is on. For Mac, open the Preference panel and then I will click on MySQL. My server is already on, but if yours is not, click the Start Server button. You will be prompted for your computer password. Once the server is started, we can move on. Our next step is to make the database. I will open the repository and click on the DB folder. Inside the folder is the employee SQL file. I will right-click and open it in MySQL Workbench. When the file has loaded, we need to run it. We can select the first lightning bolt icon and click it. This will run the entirety of the file and it will create the database for us. In the Schemas section on the left side of the screen, I will click the Refresh button and we should see a database called Employee DB appear in the list. When I click on it to view one of the tables, we can see it is already populated with some data. If a user doesn't want any starter data, they can select the first 27 lines of the employee SQL file and run it in the same way as before. This will make a database with no data in it. With a working database, we can move on to the next step. The next step is to open the repo inside a code editing software. I'm going to use VS Code. Since I have used the repo recently, it will appear in the Recent section in my VS Code, but you may need to navigate to the file on your own computer. I suggest having the entire repo nested inside another folder and opening the folder above the repo. This will make opening the terminal easier down the line. With the repo opened in my VS Code, we have one line of code to change. Inside the repo, open the folder called Connect and then open the connections file. On line 14 of the file, there's a string with the words, "Put your MySQL password here." Delete the text leaving the marks on either side and input the password for the server. This is a very important step. The program will not work if you do not have the right password. If you are getting red lines in your file, make sure that you have both ticks on the sides of your password. Do not change anything else and save either with keyboard shortcuts or through the file menu. You should know the file has been saved when the color of the file name changes. From here, we can open the repo inside our terminal. Right-click on the folder named Employee Management System and find the Open an Integrated Terminal option. Inside the terminal, our next step is to call extra dependencies. The command we need to enter is npm install. This will automatically add everything we need to make the program work. The install may take some time to complete. Once completed, we can start to use the program. In the terminal, enter node server.js. This will start the program. Users will be greeted with a list of actions that can be done. I will select the first option. This will allow us to view all the employees that work for the company. Because we already have some starter data in the database, we can see 3 employees. We can also view employees by department and job title, as well as job titles and departments on their own. In addition to viewing employees, we can also add new ones. When I select the Add New Employees option from the menu, we will be presented with some questions about the employee. We are asked about the employee's name and then about which department they are going to be part of. This list is generated based on the list of departments in the database. After the department, a list of job titles is also presented based on the job titles in the database that are connected to the selected department. After we press enter, the new employee is added to the database, and when we click on the View All Employees option, we will now have 4 instead of 3. In addition, we can also add new departments and job titles. Adding job titles and departments are just about the same thing as adding a new employee, but with less steps, so I will not be demoing it here, but I have added some more data off screen. We can also update an employee's job title using the Edit an Employee Job option. When we select it, we are presented with a list of all employees. We select a name and then we are presented with all the job titles. After we select one, the employee's data will be updated with the new information, which we can see by checking the View Employees by Role option. This will only affect the employees that have a matching ID, so people that might have the same name will not be affected by the change. We can also remove employees from our list with the Remove an Employee option. When selecting this option, we are presented with a list of all the employees, and after selecting a name, the employee will be removed. We can check this with the View All Employees option. This will only affect employees with a matching ID, so it will not affect people with the same name. An employee cannot be retrieved after they were removed. When a user is done with the program, they can select the Exit option in the main menu and the program will end. When the user wants to come back later, all the data will be persisted in the database. I will clear my terminal and start the program again. I will select the View Employees option and we can see our data again. This will conclude my video demo of the employee management system. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video.